Everybody, good morning. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Let me see if I can get the chat back up. There we go. It was like working and then it went white. Anyway. Technology. Hey, David Donald, Craig, channel member Rex, channel members Nancy, channel member Darren, Diane, Chris, Arturo, Will, Dan, Joy, Mad, Diane, Andrew, Svenborn, David, Clarence, Terry, Dawn, Rogamer. Good to see everybody. For all of you that made the guess on what I was making, the number, dun, 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 200. 200. And if you're just a regular subscriber and you're like, what the heck? I posted something I was making for channel members only. It's people that choose to support the channel further by being a member of the channel. And I was like, guess how many of these I'm making? And numbers were all over the place, but 200 is the number. And I'm making them for Cub Scouts. Some Cub Scouts. So anyway. Buenos dias, mostas. Morning, Sergio. Morning, Jason, Cliff, Sledge, Gayton. Yes, Lieutenant Colonel's out flying somewhere. Didn't see the general yet either. But be here eventually, maybe. Well, here's the bad news. Not looking too hot. I was hoping we would hold that 618 there on Friday. Now we're down to the danger zone. If we get below this line today, odds are elevated. We're going to see these kind of numbers: 54.64, 54.22, and maybe this guy right here, the 3-day roadmap line. It's the 3-day roadmap line. And if you're like, well, when I pull this down, I don't see 3-day. That's cool. You add custom interval right here at the top. Put in 3-day. And there we are right there. With a potential touch of that in the cards. Now, we don't have to stop there. We could go all the way to the weekly, which is down here. That's pretty rough. That's a rough number. Right there. So this comes into play, and then if we don't hold that, that comes into play. And it's starting to look kind of nasty, right? I mean, whew, look at that candle. That was a rough candle right there. I vote for reversal. I don't know about y'all. How many, just let me put the mainstream narrative in perspective. How many of you have made any decision based on the potential for a tariff? Let me know in the chat. I haven't made a single trading decision based on any tariff, anything. I mean, if you did, that's cool, but right now I see an absence of replies. Ninja did. All right. So we got one of 100 people. I mean, so when the mainstream narrative says traders are selling stocks based on these tariffs, we're the traders. We are traders. It's not like the hedge funds do anything different than we do. They use software and stuff, but they don't really do anything different than we do. So who are these traders that are making decisions based on... There's Lieutenant Colonel. Who are these traders making decisions based on tariffs? The narrative is just all screwed up. Now, uncertainty, sure. I mean, we have uncertainty. We needed a pullback. I mean, that makes sense. But I don't know about these traders that are making all these decisions based on tariffs. I think the mainstream financial news is full of malarkey. I mean, maybe they spooked everybody, but I don't know. They do control the narrative to an extent. So we got like 2 on here that made trading decisions based on tariffs. And what, if you want to share, what decisions did you make? What effect do you think tariffs have on anything? I mean, last time Trump was in office, let's go back to this chart. Let's go back over here. A land far, far away. Right here, Trump got in office. Announced tariffs on China and all sorts of stuff. And that's what we got. I mean, he put big tariffs on China. They ate them. Let's think about it. If you're making decisions based on tariffs, and then mainstream media and news, say it was a different time, whatever you want to say. Things were different back then. Maybe. Sure looks like that might end up being bullish. I don't know. We did have some pullbacks right to the end. I don't know. Anyway, just I'm always interested in what people say. Like, how are you making what trading decision are you making based on that? And what if he doesn't do anything? What if it's just a negotiation tactic, which that's what he does. Always a deal. He's a deal maker, right? Did you ever watch The Apprentice? I mean, he'll hold the line on something right down to the end till he gets what he wants. So there, the close on Friday. Probably going to get it open down here in danger zone this morning. I don't know. Today's the last day of the quarter. Last day of March. Last day Q1 2025. It's going to be interesting as we roll into Q2. More earnings, more everything. Going to be ramping up right here. Anybody was like, how do you get earnings number? How do you get earnings, JT? You can do it right from here. Here's the earnings today. Here's the earnings tomorrow. There's lots more than what you see on the Earnings Whisperers thing that I historically used to post in Discord. I've kind of had a little heartburn on posting that because it's content by others and you can go find it. I mean, while it is helpful, it is done by other people. Earnings Whisperers, they work hard for that, and maybe you should go view it on their feed. I've been, I have a hard time with paid content. I mean, although that's not paid content, they put it out for free, but you can get all the earnings right here. And you can see there's 1,000, 1,100 earnings today, the last day of the quarter. First day of the new quarter, 127 earnings. There's earnings almost every single day the market's open. Almost every single day the market is open, we have earnings. And you maybe look at these and be like, I don't know what the devil most of those companies are. Yeah, that's true. True, totally true. And I think Thursday we have RH coming out. If I remember. Not RJ, RH. Right there. Wednesday evening. It's one of the bigger ones of the week. Restoration Hardware. Are we going to get the dip? It's already in the chart. Right there. Now they'll probably be reporting their whatever. Probably their earnings for Q4. Anyway. And they're on the list, on the decliners list. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens today. I would really like to see a bounce. We don't have any clarity today until we get above all the things or break definitively lower, and then we've got these levels: 54.64, 54.22, and then down to 50, about 5,300 basically. That's the downside. On SPX cash index, we're looking at 54.60, 54.25, 53. Yeah, basically 5,300. So very similar numbers both on cash and futures. Look at the calendar. Reload. Let's get back to the current week, last day of March. Not much. Kind of went through this on Friday. Not much. Get some jolt jobs. That's after the market opens on Tuesday. Not really much on Wednesday. Thursday. Again, pretty benign. Unemployment claims as usual. ISM services as usual. And then Friday we get the jobs report. On here, unemployment report, and Powell speaking. That's kind of, this is an unusual event right there while the market's open. Although we looked at where he was speaking, it's a weird event. The Advanced Business Editing and Writing Annual Conference. That's their Society for Advanced Business. It's just a weird event, if you ask me. Weird name for event. So it's kind of what we got cooking this week. Not really much till Friday. We do have the tariff, whatever's going to happen on the 2nd. Now, tariffs are like everything else. There's supply. There's, for cars in particular, there's like a 45-day supply already in the country. So do dealers immediately raise prices, or do they eat through the supply and then raise prices, or do they just not raise prices at all, just eat the tariffs? I don't know. See what happens. Last time Trump was in office, everybody ate the tariffs because we are the biggest purchaser. Like, we have a $3 trillion marketplace for goods and for goods. Not just service, services is extra. For goods, we do $3 trillion of goods in the United States every year. So if you got goods, you're bringing them to the market. If you want to go sell them somewhere else that doesn't have tariffs, what do? You want to stay competitive with everybody else? Some people eat the tariffs. So if you've got it built into your price, if built into your profit to eat 25% tariff, maybe eat the tariff and keep prices the same. Remember, the consumer in the United States is weak. We're not exactly just buying higher prices. We've already gone through epic inflation, already stressed. Lower end buyers are already having problems. So before we talk too many trades, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. So don't buy stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries, bonds. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. You might lose money. Significant risk of loss in trading. And just because I say things that have come true historically doesn't mean I'll get it right every time in the future or ever get it right again. If you desire somebody to tell you what to do, hire and consult a financial advisor, which is not me. I don't play one on YouTube. I don't play one in real life. I don't try to tell anybody what to do and how to make money because I'm not a financial advisor. I just share what I'm doing. If you want to ride along, cool. Got to make your own trading decisions. Nobody's watching out for you more than you. It doesn't matter how much you pay them. Nobody will watch out for you and your money more than you. This right here, there we go. Opening right there. We need to stay above. Now, it's a very distinct possibility that we make one more dip right here, possibly down to 54.60, and then take off. The resistance above us is that daily roadmap line. And if you're like on a smaller time frame, you just want to know what the devil's going on, switch to guns. Watch the 1 minute. We're way below it at this point. This will probably jump down over the next few minutes. As long as we're below the 1 minute, which, that was kind of a key indicator on Friday. We stayed below it or all the way into the close. Rejected down. 5 minutes. It's going to be up here a bit. Oh, right there. Yep. Got pretty close. I can almost do, I almost know where it's going to be just looking at the charts. I've done this enough. And we rejected Thursday, big drop. Man. And this is getting a little bit aggressive here on the downside. 3618. Probably, if we dropped out to 5,300 without coming back to that 5 minute, that's an extreme move right there. When I say extreme, it's less than 1% of the time we'll just rip that big move without hitting the roadmap line. Works on all time frames like that. So it would be a very extreme move to the downside. 5,300 it's going to hurt. Looking at NASDAQ, popping back up to the daily. Looks like we're pushing right down into the prior low. Looks like we made a lower low. Let me remove the fib lines. Yeah, we made a lower low. That is a lower low. So now we look at this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down without overlap. This is starting to be a little bit concerning. So on NASDAQ, first move down, right there. This last move down. If we bring equality from wave 1 to wave 5, we may see a dip down to this level right here, 18,867, possibly 18,419. That's the proportions we usually see between wave 1 and wave 5. Just to bring clarity to it. What am I seeing? Yeah, probably somewhere down in here. So we may see that actually hit right there. We put alert right there and alert right there. Looking at the bigger picture, if we get below this 786 here, which is right where that 1272 is, that's probably going to invite the bigger drop. Right there. Looking at the same thing on ES. Let's switch to a clean chart really quickly. So I can draw something different. Now, this can't be a 2. This right here cannot be a 2. Why? Elliott wave rules. 2 cannot go, if this was 0 and this was 1, 2 cannot exceed the 0 point. Nope, can't do it. Like, that's just, can't be the way it is on the futures. So, looking at it a little differently, on this chart, how can we make sense of it? Possibly that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't have overlap. And this right here did not overlap. Now, some of you are very interested in how I break these down. And if you compare the wave 1 to the wave 5, look at that, we would do a double bottom thing. Right there, potentially could extend it just slightly on ES. Now, if we do that, that's the first warning that is possible then we only do a 3-wave up back into this 5,900 area. If we bounce here or anywhere in this vicinity right here, we do a 1, 2, 3 like that, stop in this area. That's time to get ready for a bigger flush down, because that would be a wave 1 down. This would be a wave 2, and 3 can be a crash. I am 100% serious right now. Not even joking. Like this is the kind of crash that big money crash. Like JT made $1 million in 2020. That could be what we're setting up here. All right, everybody clear? Everybody got me? Everybody on the same page? This is with the price action, the rejection here, this is what we're potentially setting up, and that's not what I wanted to see set up right now. I really wanted to break on through, go higher, but it's concerning. Very concerning. I'll say this. You know, we could be setting up something like this. It goes like that. And then the target on this. Oh, baby. This would be a measured bounce. Remember, the target on that, it's probably going to be right here. Possibly down here. That's going to be vicious. It's a vicious potential setting up in the chart right there. I don't like it. I mean, hopefully everybody takes the warning. It's got me concerned. It really does. Like the way this is shaped up really has me concerned at this point. Now wave 1 there, yeah. We dip down in there. Start now if we make a 5-wave up, that would be good. Like some sort of impulsive move off of whatever bottom we make here in the next day or two. That would be good. We want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No overlap. That would be good. 3 waves up. Doing something like this. Not good. Not good at all. Man. That one starting to look like, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we flush this on down, that's going to be a 5 down also. Oof. Not looking good. Not looking good. That high, that low, off of that. That was very cool. Like, it was a very quick correction. Not sure that one's complete yet. This one may consolidate some more. But that just the way 5 would be flushing down to here, 1800. Then potential 1, 2, 3, back up in this zone, and then set up the bigger crash. Probably still looking like a late summer situation if we do this rally. Looks like, you see early, that's early summer, midsummer, early to midsummer maybe. Not fond of this pattern. Switch back over to the one I have everything drawn on. Oil, looks like we're gonna pop it. Like if we get through that daily roadmap line right there, we can see a big pop in oil. certainly on my eye right here. Put my alert right there at 72. GC, wow. Getting the extensions. Pushing on up. Next extension, 3,200. Pretty impressive. Anybody held on? Congratulations. So you win. Breaking down. That's the bubble pattern, right? Bubble. Consolidation. Crush down. Probably coming back down to this level right here. Very likely. Bitcoin. Wow. Rejected the breakout on the futures. It's very clear on the spot market. Couldn't break through on that attempt. No matter how many arrows I put on it. Tried to get it, but nope. Let's see that. Came up, rejected off, back retrace. Let's see what we get. Holding in here. That's a great place to hold. This can actually set up a pop. Now, Bitcoin will usually, typically, this is not like a rule. It's not a have to. It's not a, this is just a typically. If things are going to turn around and traders are going to be more risk on, typically Bitcoin will start taking off. 2 weeks later, these two will follow suit. All right, that's the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. This one usually takes off 2 weeks ahead, starts breaking out. Now, measured bounce, that's what we set up here. Don't really want to see this get below. I've got an alert right there, right around 79. If we get below 79, we're probably coming down to at least the March high around 74. That's March 2024 high. And if we get below that high, if we get below this high, it's the first indication that this Bitcoin rally is done this cycle. You better set your sales accordingly. And that's not just a dip below that price. That's like a couple day closes below that level. Things aren't looking good anymore for continued Bitcoin rally. And JT was wrong on the targets, and we topped out if we get below there. We'll probably do one rally, kind of up to this level, and then flush on down. Not what I'm looking for. Yeah, I would not be a responsible guru if I didn't tell you the downside risks here to watch out for. The developing price action, I really want to see this hold right here, break back up through. We might have to retest before we can take off, something like that. If this is a measured bounce, 100,000 on the upside would be the next move. We'd set it up, probably retrace back down to about 94, and then we go on an extension. That extension, this would be the wave one off of that one. Probably take us up to 105. Right in here. So it looks something like this. Next moves. Oh. Click here. Next moves. If we're going to be bullish. Something like this. Something like this. Something like this. Right in there. And then we'll probably do a 618 retrace of that whole thing. This would really frustrate people. We'll take it right back down to here. That roadmap line might be in that vicinity. Probably do a big flush right back here. People are like, oh man, fake out. Bitcoin's so full of malarkey. This is bullshit. And then we set up the bigger rally that takes us right up here. Then we do that last move and the last extension. And that would be... This is how I get so many fib lines on here. Yep. That would put us right to the bottom of the target zone, right at 150. Man, I can't make this stuff up. It would be right there. Now, it won't go that fast. I would be very surprised if we go that fast. I was not predicting time, just prices. Those are price levels. Could go that fast. That'd be pretty wild. Bitcoin shot up there while the rest of the market made a three-wave correction up to a lower high. This would definitely set up a crash scenario. If we did this, set up a big crash scenario for the market. All right. Doom and gloom, right? Ethereum, look at that. Pushing down in the danger zone. Been warning. If we get below these levels, this is like, I'm going to color this red. Where's that button here? That's a red zone right there. We get below that red zone, probably going down to triple digits. Not looking too hot there. NKD rejected. This is, why is the market selling off? Because global liquidity is selling off. We're probably coming right down here on global liquidity. Then can we bounce? Or we're going to flush on further. If we flush on further, everything's going to be rough. Rough. We're seeing the dollar just churn. Not really driving the train. Sideways consolidation. Right on that 618. And we're not seeing euro flows. This is highly likely to potentially do this before it can get any kind of real direction moving again. Highly likely we see that kind of, got the upside limit right there at 108 and then support down here at the roadmap line. We might see that do a third move right like this. It would be roughly equal to the first move down right there. Already over it, yeah. And GME, no bounce, further decline. Probably going to go touch the target zone right down here, it looks like. That was the same kind of proportion thing, right? Same pattern. Measured bounce. First move down, retrace, next move down. Same thing I was talking about on Bitcoin and ES and NQ and all the same pattern. Right there. Popped up on the Bitcoin hype and blasting down. And another one, MSTR. MicroStrategy. Got below the trend line, back to the roadmap line. One to watch. If we failed it, probably going lower low. Target, top of the target's right down here, around 230. Lower low than these two back over here in February and March. That was a nice rally, but coming back down. They bought another 22,000 Bitcoin over the weekend. Let's see if we can find that. I don't even see their purchase. Lots of stuff about GameStop. MicroStrategy insider sold 5 million shares, no big, or $5 million, no big deal. $1 million, no big deal. And that's days ago, 20 minutes ago, 1 hour ago. 407 price target. It's just in the resistance. Yeah. Who cares about price targets? Anyway. analyst price targets. So I go pull everything moving $2 more up, put it on the gainers list, $2 more down, put it on the decliners list. This is a biotech, and when we see biotech dominating, we see pharma, medical, anything dominating the list. That's a big warning on the market conditions. We kind of saw that Friday. These ones don't get a lot of attention unless the market's kind of being sour, and then they make the top of the list. We're seeing that big pop. Watch out for corresponding drop. It could be a buyout, could be anything. I'm not really interested in what they're selling today. Co-op, finance, rental, and leasing. Nice big pop there. There's the high, there's the low. This is the roadmap pattern. Didn't quite hit, but close enough. Shot up. That's targets. Look. Get the retrace, get the extension, get the retrace, get the extension, get the retrace, get the extension. So likely to do a retrace next after that pop. The pops tend to be pretty fast. So that one's probably played out. I wouldn't chase it. Be careful. Boil, natural gas, ultra. This is ultra natural gas. Leveraged. Be careful on leverage. Let's just go look at natural gas. Little intermediate pop. Yeah. See what we got at this point. We hit the target. Let's clean up some stuff. Let's make it a little cleaner. Make it a little cleaner. Hopefully save all this. All these changes. Save it. So at this point, and that one won't matter anymore. That one won't matter. That one doesn't matter. Got an initial move down. We've got that high. We've got this low. We have upside potential resistance right there. 447. We find that resistance. We don't have to even make it that high. But that can lead to the next move down. And put us in that would put us just with parity with that move right there to that move right there. Puts us right in the roadmap zone, 335. Ultra shorts. That's bleeding off. Cost of gas is the contango on gas is eating that one alive. See, natural gas prices in the futures contracts are already pricing a seasonality, and we're right in the seasonal drop. This one we got right here, this next high is December. This is April, which we're about to be in April. That low, that's April, that's April, that's April, that's April. Get the point, get the picture. These are all April on the lows. These are all December on the highs. It's the yearly cycle. So contango starting to eat into natural gas. This may make a low down here in April. Could extend it down here. And then we'll probably start the rally into December next year. And don't forget about the seasonality on. You can see the market expects this to kind of decline because more supply. It's easy to put more gas supply on the markets. Doesn't mean that any crazy stuff won't drive the price of gas higher, but be careful playing gas. TSDD, Tesla shorts. Yeah, after that initial drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so this would be an interesting one to kind of keep up with right here. If we develop the 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we get that 5 down, then we do a 3-wave retrace. Back up in the vicinity of the 4. We set up the potential for this to go down more viciously. This is 2x leverage on short Tesla. While the patterns don't always work, this is one to keep an eye on right here. If we do this and this, we set up this. And since this is 2x short Tesla, what does that mean Tesla might do? Might pop off. Might do that. Stay frosty, my friends. That's the same level on that one. TSDD, TSLQ, same pattern. S arc, short arc. It looks like it's about to break out. Watch for that resistance right there. If we break through, could get a bigger upside on short arc. GLD, and popping the targets. 292, next upside. UVIX, getting a little pop. UVXY, whoops, UVX. One finger. So lower high, be careful here. This is also a declining asset because VIX doesn't move. Very similar to natural gas, long term. This is a danger zone. It's maybe a fake out in the market, and this goes plummeting down. So the underlying, like, there's lots of little indicators under the market hood that are indicating this dip today may be a fake out. Ugly. Wow. Rock and roll. The bigger pullback back here. Watch for resistance at 130 and 137 on ugly if gold keeps ripping. T-Mobile. And in the face of all this market crap, this one's about to break out, maybe to head on up to 300. They announced starting in July that Starlink service will be a regular service for like $10 a month. Add on to your existing service. Boom, right up in there. So T-Mobile and Starlink officially rolling it out. TECS, Technology Bear 3X, that bounced off the roadmap line. This looks like a correction though. Be careful here. Move up, retrace. Next move could take us into this vicinity. 77. If we're going to continue to be bearish on technology. ETHD. We're in a danger zone here. Danger, danger. So this, if it breaks out, 59.60, maybe a roadmap bounce. Extension right up in here. You're like, JT, the fibs. Yeah, pull it right down to the low. Didn't really change the target. 59.60, still the same. But if this rejects right here at a lower high, watch out. That's probably not going to hold support. It'll probably go on down. This is ultra short on Ethereum. It's leverage and short. Be careful. That means that Ethereum potentially making a bottom and would go up if this is going to crush down. Now, Ethereum going to make a lower low potentially if this breaks out. VXX. This is another declining asset coming up into that resistance point. And I would be very, 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 very careful betting on volatility right now. This is a setup we see very commonly right here. This spike, this lower high, and then we went right back down to the bottom. This spike, lower high, come right back down to the bottom. Yeah. We even got similar thing right there. Big spike in August, lower high, chop, chop, and then back down to the bottom. Careful out there, my friends. This looks like a secondary little fake out before we take it on down. MVD. That's not even the right. It doesn't pull up the right ticker. Granite shares, nasty chart. I wouldn't mess with it. GDXU, leverage on 3x leverage on gold miners. Be careful on leverage. 68, 72 are the upside if we can push it on higher. VIXY. VIX. Yeah, be careful here. See reverse splits. These don't. Just look at VIX. If you're going to play VIX, you can play VIX. You can buy contracts on VIX. But this, again, looks like we're probably going to take this back down to at least the 14 area. I don't think we're going to get... Now, if we're going to set up a big crash, we usually do it from down here, below 12, possibly even into 10. I don't think we're going to set up a big crash from elevated levels. Just not the way VIX usually plays. And looking at the forward expectations in the markets, you can see they're not expecting volatility the rest of the year. It's not being priced into the futures market for VIX. What does the market expect? Decreased volatility the rest of the year. We're at the peak. PCVX. Whew. Ouch. So I go look at the decliners too. Things are moving $2 or more down. Put it on the decliners list. I'll go check this out. That one getting whacked. Don't really see much opportunity there. That's biotech. Probably coming back to the lows at 17. PLPLA. LPL Financial Holdings. Not really. I mean, that looks like it's done a first move down. A retrace. If we're going to break down below that prior low, we may extend this down to 267. Spotify didn't hit the roadmap line. Probably going to come down for it. Maybe make a marginal lower low. Although we can hold right here and go shooting off. It triggered the upside. So this is one you got to be very careful on. If you got into this on this move right here, this is still the active target. Higher low, as long as it stays intact. Looking good. Yeah, that actually looks pretty strong. We're getting those higher targets on the upside. Pretty strong. App loving. Targets down here. Didn't even make it to the resistance. Oh, man. There you go. First move down, retrace. Next move down, puts it down here in the 59 area. Or 159, excuse me. 159 area. Watch for that prior low to hold. If it doesn't hold, extension down lower. ASML. Oh, so close now. You gotta be. Beep. I've not traded for this, but I'm waiting for this to unlock new potential on ASML. Almost there. Another 30 bucks or so on the downside. Get a lock on this baby. Want to see it down in that lower 600 area, lower low than we made right back here in November. That's what we need. Set up the next move on ASML. We need this to dip in here below that low and hold in here somewhere, right in here, and then turn higher, break above the daily roadmap line, and then things look pretty good. We're making money on ASML again. FNGA, well, that got the extension lower. Looking for that to hit the 319 level. I think 319. Let's see. No, fibs aren't right. Let's just clean it up. Yeah, we need to hold above that 319 level. Yeah. Funny enough. If we start below that 319, we're probably coming on down here on this one. And this one does not have options, so you can't really play downside very easily. Now, we want to see now hold that orange box. If it doesn't, things are probably going to get spicier on the downside for now. For service now, NOW. Looking for 550 if that orange box breaks there in the 700s. Yeah, somewhere right in here. Tesla. Salah. Got we're getting a retrace. Didn't go as high. Let's see. This is a little baby move inside the bigger potential. Just remove the bigger potential there for a minute. What we want to see is this hold right here. This is like the opposite of the TSLD or TSLQ, whatever it was, TSDD. Hold this, break higher. This would be a measured bounce, probably a lower time frame. Roadmap bounce. I just clicked the wrong tool. 3-point tool, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. Oh my goodness. That puts us right there where that, you can't make this stuff up. 395. Next potential upside target. If we turn, break out above this high, that sets up that next potential upside target. We could, if we stop at the 328 to 350 area, if on the next rally, if lots of ifs here, if we hold support here, and this is the current low right here today, if we rally and stop right in that zone, we're going lower than that low on the next drop. More than likely. Like 60-40 odds. If we stop right there, we're going lower. If we make it to here, 60-40 odds, we're going to hold the roadmap line and go higher. Easy as that. Sounds complicated. I know. Netflix. Well, that's an interesting development here. Got that low, that high. 6-1. Like, we're set up a measured bounce in the market on a lot of big names here. That can pop. So the upside potential on this one, that low, that high, that low. Didn't quite get the fib line right. It's okay. This next upside potential, 1150. Now this is why I'm still slanted bullish, despite all my warnings. There's a lot of these opportunities setting up in the market right now. Restoration hardware, looks like we might be going lower, especially if we break below this box. Right there, we may take a trip down to 126. Just looking at the bigger picture, that drop, that move to the 618, that extension, same pattern, years long pattern. Right there. GE Veranova. Potential to retrace down to, oh man, I like holding that roadmap line right there. That green potential, we need a breakthrough there. Upside potential is 42, 414. If we break down below, though, potential to come back down. We have to draw it. Yeah. Potential's down here. So things start going sour on GE Veranova. Down below this prior low here in March. Bigger downside, but this looks like the upside we got cooking right now. Higher probability right now, as long as we hold in here. Getting below the roadmap line, first indication. Getting below this low, second indication that we're doing this right here. Meta, lower low. No indication of a bottom yet. I don't think that one's down on the upside. The potential here is just pretty insane. Man, look how much money they print. $9.5 price to sales. I mean, this is just it's not even priced very expensively compared to how much money they print. Wow. CRWD, we can hold the roadmap line, upside potential, 490, 517, 600. If we reject off of that 394 level, which we already have, maintain the move lower, 274 support. If we get below that, we may cruise on down to like 178 area. Goldman Sachs, deep retrace. Not fond of the deep retrace, but this can propel this thing right up to 700 here if we hold the higher low. If we make a lower low, we got earnings coming up in 2 weeks. They're on the 14th. A breakdown could take this down here. We typically see money flowing into financials ahead of earnings, which if you look at the leverage chart, 3x leverage on big financials, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. We can go look at the holdings. This right here is setting up a potential pop to the targets at 198, 200. Right there, this measured bounce potential. I like it. Very nice potential to make a bunch of money. Let's go look at the holdings. Handy dandy. So Berkshire, Berk B, JP Morgan, Visa, MasterCard, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Progressive, SPGI. Looks like the biggest holder is cash at the moment. Alrighty, moving on down the list. Let's see. PRT. Ooh, right in the target. Looking for this to find a bottom. If we don't, could develop a bigger downside. Much, much bigger. Could take us back to 30. Want to see that hold there. Otherwise, we could be looking at a much larger potential retrace. Yeah. Back in this 25 to 30 area. Right in there. If this, this is got a hold above that, let's say 65 area. If we get below 65, probably coming down to this 25 or 30 area. NVIDIA, well, pushing a lower low. Not too good. Downside targets, 97, 88, 73. Same kind of levels we've been looking at. Prior lows too at 100 and 90. Zscaler. This is a choppy mofo right here. I tell you what, solid resistance right at that 618. Look at that. Indicates we may get a flush if we break down uptrend of lows. It's very loose uptrend of lows. So this thing's running out of triangle, if you will, running out of watermelon seed squeeze. It's gonna pop. Like, this is a wind up right here. We're winding it up into this corner. Don't got much room left to go. We're either gonna pop or we're gonna come right down in here. Drop. Now, I give a little bias to drop because of the first move down, the 618 hold. Would not surprise me one bit to break down right there very quickly. Then potentially rally higher. SPXL is just leveraged SPX, not really showing a bottom yet. Net. Ooh, lower low. Ouch. Couldn't even muster the bounce here. Just resets everything. That could extend much lower, down into the 80s and 90s. PLTU. It's PLTR leverage. Let's just look at PLTR. I skipped PTIR earlier. Caution, caution, caution. Roadmap line is a real possibility. And if we don't hold that, 30s could be a real possibility. If the market turns sour grapes, this one might lose a lot of value really quickly because of these absolute insane numbers here. Absolute insane numbers. A 476 forward PE and a 80 basically price to sales. It's ridiculous. PE and price to sales are doing a bubble pattern. That's watch out. Holy moly. Holy moly. That one's that's dangerous just looking at the fundamentals. I don't care about the hype. LABU, well, biotech. Drew a big arrow. It looks like we're going to break down. Go 33, 21. Probably another reverse split somewhere out here in the future. Race. Ferrari. Came up. Shy of the roadmap line. Now we're going to see. Do we hold a higher low? Or do we push this lower low? Possibly down to 382. Be very careful. VST. I guess we did VRT earlier, right? I don't even remember. Thought I already talked about this one, but potential for this to come on down. We rejected the roadmap line. Potential to see further downside here. FLUT. Getting the further. That's starting to be 5 down. That's a very cautionary pattern right there. Major resistance right here. Clear that back orange. Major resistance, and if we get continuation lower, we reject off of here. Bigger downside on Flutter Entertainment. Boog. Hunt the bottom. IPR. Hunt the bottom. We're at a potential point where we could bottom. I don't know. That move up and this extension down. AXP. Higher low potential. Working on a reversal right there. Working. If we break back higher, break through the 618, upside 337, 348. SAP probably coming on down to the roadmap line. SAP on the US listing, probably working toward that roadmap line. Microsoft. No comment. Oh, me dang. I thought we might be working on a reversal, but yeah, we get the target. Possible further downside to 355, but this might be finally done here. Microsoft. Coinbase, we push below the emergency level, this looks highly likely to get an extension down to 230. I mean 130, excuse me, 130. IBKR. Yeah. Looks like we may get an extension. Shopify. Maybe. This one's a buy the dip almost all the time. Could get a further decline. I mean, we could push this down a little bit more. Not trying to say there's not downside risk here. Potential to go back down to once or down below. Down to 77. Maybe even 70 on the downside. If this is a correction, it's going to. Yeah, I guess Shopify pulling back a little bit on the tariff potential. People spending less money on all the crap that Shopify. If you go on the Shop app, there's a ton of stuff from China, a ton of stuff from all over the place. So I guess potential to make less money. SMH, really, I just want to see this make a lower low at this point. Maybe down to 188. AVGO. And that rolled off pretty viciously. If we get below this support right here, 157, we could kick off a bigger downside here, all the way back in the 50 zone. Snow. Looking for this to come on down to 130. Supports. Find support and bounce. That's what I'm kind of watching for. If we start on down below 130, I'm gonna be careful. MDB. Still hunting the bottom. Probably needs a lower low than we had back here in November of 22. Looking for that down to around 115 area, probably. SRPT. Continuing the flush. Root. Just sitting there at the resistance. Maybe find support of the roadmap line, and maybe we retrace back down further to 22. DoorDash, probably going to get a lower low into the roadmap line. We came up shy. Reddit, looks like we're going to retrace back to the breakout level, all the way back down around 80. And this could go lower low, all the way down in the 30s, 20s and 30s. SOXX, definitely working on the extension, 172. TSM, working on the extension, maybe down to 130 area. CRM, and be careful, this could very easily extend down to 190. FAS, like I already talked about, if we can hold that and break higher. Looking for that upside around 200. Here's the VRT. I apparently was further down the list here. JP Morgan. Hold. Turn. 288 on the upside. Visa. Potential to come back to the roadmap line. Be careful. NVIDIA. That's leverage NVIDIA. Looks like 40 on the downside. PLTY. Leverage. Caterpillar. And this is concerning to me. Caterpillar starting to roll off. DE. Still holding in at highs. When Caterpillar and DE start rolling pretty severely, that usually indicates the economy is into a crunch. C Limited came up to the 618 and sitting there consolidating. If we bust on through, we could go back to highs, potentially even extending to 525. Amazon. Caution. We get down to the bottom of the orange zone. If we get below the orange zone at 180, it's probably going on the bigger correction back down to 130. Right there. Maybe like no freaking way. But if those tariffs affect all the Chinese crap that Amazon sells through third-party sellers, we could see, ouch, right there. And that's only part of the story. You know, they have data center stuff and all sorts of other stuff that they do for business. IONX is 2x on IONQ. SMCX is 2x on SMCI. Kava. Can we hold the higher low and break above the roadmap line, or do we go down for the further retrace? It's possible we held on a non-log scale, but we might need to go on down on the logarithmic scale, hit that 60 area right there for the 618 before we can turn and bounce higher again. ANET extension down to 66 area would not surprise me. XLK and flushing on down. Support down around 192. Hunting for a bottom. CDNS content delivery cadence delivery cadence design systems. Say the right words. 218 on the downside if we're going to extend this. mRNA. Somebody predicted we were coming on down to 15 to 20 area. We're at 26. That's another cut in half again, roughly. ARM. Potential to come all the way back down to 70. DHR. Potential to come back down, make a lower low at 174. LEU. I don't see any great support level at this point. Maybe can we hold that 60 zone right in here, 55, 60 zone? If we don't, probably going on down. Oracle. I thought that might be the low, but apparently not. Watch for a bigger retrace here. I don't even have great levels to look for. 125 maybe. And why am I not going with the fib? Because this uptrend doesn't really give me great place to go off of. This move right here, 3 waves in nature. We could take, it's possible we take that all the way back down to that low right there. A-Lab. Potentially working on 5 down, so 3 up would be cautionary. Resistance right up in that zone. Didn't really change the fibs very much, but caution. If we stop here, further downside to go on A-Lab. Koru. 3x bull on Korea. Wow. Reverse split. Dumpster fire. Be careful. Thunder. Yeah, that's real thunder going on in the background there, not just the sound effects. AMD. So this one, I'm not sure we're done on the downside yet. If we hold here, break back above this high, it's time to add a position for long-term long. And there's still potential downside to 75. So this is why I'm very cautious putting my money at risk yet. VTI. I'm stocking that one, but just not sure we're done yet. VTI bounced off the roadmap line. Watch for support in the 266 to 268 area. PANW. Wow. First move down, retrace. Next move down may take it to 158 area. I've already got an alert there, 157. COHR. Not really finding a bottom yet. There's a few things that are concerning out here, like this one. Could go deeper. Maybe working on a 618 retrace here down to a 45 level on COHR. BX, Blackstone. Still has downside potential. I was expecting it to retrace to 124 before we found the bottom. Looks like what we might be heading. We're not far away now. 135. It looks like we were at 134 earlier, so about $10 more downside. And there's the gold rush trade done. I nod. Down at the roadmap line, look for that to hold and bounce. GECL. 3x on technology, DPST. 3x on daily banks. This is regional banks, so be careful. Regional banks and financials, not necessarily the same when I talk about that. Regional banks showing some stress. This could be a 5 down. We could see extension down here to 50 on regional banks. We could see another regional bank freakout like we had, what, 2023? Roku? Oh, thanks, James, for being a channel member. And potential downside, 60 on Roku. EMS, want to see that hold and turn higher. That's financials, big banks. UAL, watch for 57. UCTA, watch for retrace down here to 92. IWM, that's a lower low. Reset the, that's technically 5 down. Watch for, do we do a 5 up here or do we just do a 3 up? This will be the tell on what happens next. Big down in this case, or potential higher low and going higher. I expect going lower on IWM, but we'll see. 130, maybe even 120 downside target. But it's long term, like a couple years. IBM, roadmap line, retrace. This is actually holding up pretty well today. Turned green. BABA, working on finding that support. We may retest the breakout level back at 120. It could hold where we are. And I still expect 160 to 200 area on the upside. That's where the bigger 618 is. And applied materials down to the target zone. It's not magic. It's just math. Got it. Looking for a bottoming reversal here. Break back through the roadmap line to set up the bigger upside targets. Bigger upside at this point. Possibly back up to 300 on applied material. But gotta wait for it to all prove it. Tempest, if this breaks on down below the low we made a couple weeks back, looking for this to return back down to the lows at 20s, in the 20s. FUTU, looks like we're coming back down to the roadmap line at 93. Deckers Outdoors, no bottom in sight. Red flag, baby. Looks like it's this giant move up. Maybe find support at the breakout back here, 72. Still about $30 downside, 30% downside. Capital One, did we make a higher low and we're off to the races? Upside 220 potential. I could discover almost the same chart. Potential 220. It's crazy. GILD. Watch for that to break on down to the roadmap line at 95. MU. Still chopping in the zone. We're at the bottom of the zone. Support down to about 70, 77, 76. I've got my alert at 75. If we start below that, doesn't look good for any bullishness developing on MU. FSLR. I'm short this one. I'm not gonna lie. I jumped on a great white trade, going short, and looking for this to get to that 111 area at the minimum. TTWO, take 2. Looks like we're going to come back to the roadmap line. No bones about it at this point. Back to the roadmap line before we can push out to the next target. We'll probably go on up higher. When we look at this big picture, we did this pullback. We're now at highs. These are all-time highs. Yep, we made an all-time high. So extension to 240, maybe even 267 would be very expected. And maybe after a bigger pullback, we go on higher to 350. GE Aerospace. Chopping around right here. Back to the roadmap line would be expected. We did that pullback and extension. Pullback, extension, pullback, extension. Just probably going to grind like that. Hood coming back down for a double hit on the roadmap line. And this sparked the bigger upside back to all-time high. Somewhere around that 78.80 area. DXYZ. Looks like we might be working on something more sinister to the downside. Although if we can break above the 618 level at 50, we could go up to 91. But if we pushed down below the low we made a couple weeks back in March there at 25. This may return to the lows back at 10. Dell looking for the move lower. Down here at 72. Crux. Ooh, rejected off the roadmap line. Not good. Not a good sign there. Pretty tight uptrend of lows. We break below that. We're probably going lower low than we had in February. Somewhere down in the 80s. Maybe even down to 80. It's only a 3 up. Nasty. Run it a little tighter. Okay, and 82 and 85 on the target for the downside. USD hunting that 33 level on the downside. BA retrace the roadmap line, and this is interesting. We could see a retrace down to 159. If we do, we don't have to. We can stay right where we are. That's a-okay. Check plus. That works. If we retrace down to this level, set up a measured bounce, and this could see a large upside explosion higher in BA. And it can always fail. Like, it can always wreck the pattern and fail, but this sets up the potential next target area up here around 230 to 240. If we do this pull back a little bit deeper, 159, turn and burn higher, 230 to 240. Then we'll probably retrace again before we go on higher. QLD. That's like TQQQ, leverage QQQ, pushing on down. Watch for 70 on the downside. XPI. Oof. That's not looking good. Not looking good. Yeah, 3x leverage on. Biotech probably going to break down. 30s, 20s. So, yeah. Nasty chart. Nasty chart. All right. Let's pick a couple more. Twilio. Sitting on the roadmap line. May push on down to 80. Upstarts. Ooh, lower low. That could push on down in the 30s. Airbnb. Watch for that to return to the bottom. If it does, 104 on the downside. ConocoPhillips. Actually turning around here. Potentially you're going to break above the roadmap line. Had a downside target all the way down, the 67 to 84 area. But we might break out and go higher here. 3M. Watch for that to top and retrace to the 100 level. Wow, lots of stuff. Docu sign. Double hit on the roadmap line. We break back above 93. Looking for 113, 118 on the upside. Lemonade. Potential higher low. Break above that 41 area. 59.65 on the upside. CRDO. Potential downside. Still at 36, maybe even down to 25. All right, that's the list for the day. I skipped around a little bit. And no bonus trade expectation. Kind of went over that pretty in depth at the beginning. But what I'm watching for. Ooh, SPX dipped that lower low. Yeah. So watching for the reversal off of this for the next couple of days. Bias for the day. We could be done. This might rally. It might rally strong too. So be very careful here. We might see a strong reversal. Don't get too sucked into it until we prove it. We need a 5-wave move up off these lows. And we need to break through that strong resistance at 58.80. So if we do a 3-wave move like this, danger. Danger. I want to see a constructive 5-wave up, 3-wave down, hold a higher low, and break out. That's what I want to see. That would be good. If we do a 3-wave into this move, danger, danger, danger. That sets up crash scenario. That'll probably not happen immediately. So we could be done. Like this move right here could be the end of the correction for a couple months. Might be into something like that into May. So that may have been the final flush out. The final countdown. It goes with the thumbnail I used today. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We'll be back with you again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Do it all over again. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.